What's up guys, my name is Andy. I get a lot of questions about the custom fuel line kit that I have on my 66 Mustang. One of the questions being, where can they get the same kit? Well, I sell it now on my website, KruseBuilt.com. You can get the same kit that I have and you can cut it to the perfect length that fits your setup. Let's head over to the bench and take a look at what you get. So this is what comes in the fuel line kit. You get 36 inches of this black braided fuel line, and then you get the fittings that are required to connect this from the fuel pump, also the other end, to the carburetor fuel line. Now these are -6 AN fittings on here, on this end, and then this is just gonna thread onto that. We'll tighten that down there, and the same thing with this -6 AN for this end, and this is gonna go on the hose, and this is gonna go inside. Right now, I know that this fits the stock fuel pump. If you have an aftermarket unit, I don't know the thread pitch and the size of the thread and stuff on that, but I know for the stock unit that this will definitely fit. This is just going to go in here like so. After you thread that into the fuel pump, we'll put this on one end, we'll cut this to length, and this will go to the other end. Now this bundle here comes, this is 36 inches long. I'm finding that for my car, 26 inches is the perfect length, but the nice thing about this 36-inch length is you can cut it to fit exactly what you've got. Maybe you've got a little bit different setup than I have, so this gives you a little extra room to dial this in for your car. So the first thing you're going to do is cut this to length. We cut these zip ties, and if you take some of this like blue masking tape or something like that, and you can wrap it around the hose where you want to cut it to length. Like I said, on mine, 26 inches was the perfect length, but for you, you find out what works for you. Wrap this around the hose and use a hacksaw to cut the line to exactly the length that you want. Then when you get the length that you're looking for, you can unscrew this cap, and we're gonna slide this over one of the ends, doesn't matter which end. Now this on here is in the way, but you guys wouldn't have that on your setup because you'll just peel this off. Slide that over there, and then once this is on there, you make sure this is fully seated. Then we're gonna put this inside there and then just thread it in, and you may get to a point where you're gonna have to use a wrench on here to snug this all the way down. And once this is snugged, then this end is good to go. Do the same thing on the other end with this piece here. Unthread this guy, slide it on the end, put that in there, thread it in, and tighten it up with some wrenches. And then you'll have a completed line ready to install. This will go into your factory fuel pump, and you may have a fitting in there already, so you can unscrew that one that's in the fuel pump, thread that in there, then this is ready to accept the -6 AN fitting that's on here. We'll put that on there, tighten it up, and then the other end is gonna go to the fuel rail on your carb. So like on my car, I've got this Holley fuel rail set up here that's ready to accept the -6 AN fitting right here on this T where I've got my fuel pressure gauge. You may not have that, that's fine. And again, if you didn't have this and you just had this T that's on the fuel rail, this would need to be another couple inches longer to reach that part. So that's why I said you need to make sure you measure the length for your kit so it's the right length and it's good to go on the first try. Now, if you don't have a fuel rail like this, sometimes there's one where it's just, if you got a Holley, you've got maybe just the tubes that come down to a barbed end. You can order a different fitting that goes on this 3/8 fuel line hose with a different fitting on the end so that you can match up to those fuel rail lines. Or if you've got a different carb like a Edelbrock, sometimes it has a different fitting on there. So the nice thing about these fittings is that you can either just use the -6 AN fitting that's on here and get an adapter to go from there to your whatever fuel rail you have, or you can just replace this piece on the end of the fuel hose with whatever you need to connect to your fuel rail. All right guys, that's it. That's the custom fuel line kit from KruseBuilt.com. Super easy to install. You'll be back on the road in no time.